So you start testosterone, you're feeling better, you're looking better, you're performing better, and then your skin starts acting up. So naturally, this testosterone that we just started caused your acne. And that's not completely true. The testosterone didn't cause the problem, but it did expose how your skin responds to hormones. And so a big part of it is that acne is largely genetic. There are some people who can run higher testosterone as high as they want, they can eat whatever they want, they can freeball their skincare routine and still have really good skin without acne or breakouts. Others, we adjust their hormones a little bit and acne starts coming up. Most of these hormonal acne changes are typically more chest and back rather than face, but it still can just get them to pop up. And so why are some more sensitive than others? One is genetics, but the genetics can really expose how sensitive their sebaceous glands are to androgens, especially DHT. What does testosterone actually do? It increases oil production. And really, that's about it. Everything else, whether it clogs the pores, whether it grows bacteria, whether there's increased inflammation, that's going to be really dependent on your habits. Before testosterone, you had some wiggle room. After you start the testosterone, it's like, all right, your skin is now holding you accountable for everything that you're doing. So things that didn't used to affect you now show up immediately. But before supplements, before medications, you need a baseline routine. So typically in the morning or in the shower at night, we're recommending benzoyl peroxide. This helps reduce acne causing bacteria. And at night, we get you to do tretinoin or adaptoline. This improves skin turnover and prevents clogged pores. And surprisingly, moisturizer. Most guys skip most of this. Being a guy, I've never even had to think about a skincare routine until things start showing itself. It can backfire if you're skipping crucial parts. And so the moisturizer is kind of that fine balance. If you dry it out to nothing, your body is going to produce more oil reflexively. Just get a facial moisturizing lotion or something that's non-scented, and a lot of times that's really all you need. And just find something that you can be consistent with. Don't try and have your wife or daughter put you on a 10-step routine whenever you know it's going to be hard to do anything. But just find something that you can be consistent with. And another thing with acne is it's not going to just improve in a day or two. Your skin works in cycles, and so really most treatments can take 4 to 8 weeks and sometimes even closer to 8 to 12 weeks to really show the benefit. If it's been a week or two, it's really too early to judge. There are supplements that can help. Again, they're supplemental. They can support the systems, but they're just not fixing it. So one that does pretty good is zinc. It helps reduce inflammation. It helps some androgen modulation, helps control acne bacteria. I like high-dose fish oil. This can help in this area as well because it's reducing systemic inflammation. N-acetylcysteine or NAC helps reduce oxidative stress, and so this helps lower inflammatory acne. Berberine, if there's a insulin resistance component to it, this is going to help improve insulin sensitivity. We like berberine as part of our kind of lipid management supplement recommendations as well. Vitamin D, if you're low, getting that back up to optimal levels can somewhat improve acne. If your lifestyle is off, the supplements probably aren't going to make a huge impact, but they can help kind of fine tune. One of the things that people forget about in controlling acne is your diet. This is one of the biggest levers, and a lot of people just overlook it completely. But if you have a high glycemic carb intake, you're getting insulin spikes, increased oil production. Limiting your carbs and sugars can really help bring down the acne. Dairy and whey protein can be a trigger in some, and especially if, again, we talk about protein all the time, we're wanting you to optimize your protein, but some are sensitive to whey, and so sometimes it's worth trialing a different protein source just to see. Another thing guys can struggle with if you're just overfeeding, trying to bulk, you're doing the dirty bulk and just eating whatever, you can struggle with more acne just from, again, insulin elevations. But what about fat with that? Fat alone doesn't directly cause acne, but if you are over-consuming a lot of things that have highly processed oils that can increase inflammation, they can worsen acne overall. But typically whole food fats, like, from meat and eggs, they're typically neutral because they're not spiking the inflammatory response like reheated oils are and everything. It's the insulin and inflammation that's triggering it more than anything. But the other thing just to consider is if you are working out, to change out of your sweaty gym clothes, change your pillowcases at night. Guys who wear hats all the time, wash your hat occasionally. All of these where things are just sitting, building, and re-exposing to more and more oil, you're creating this perfect environment for acne and then blaming the testosterone. But let's say you have started cleaning all this up, it's still kind of struggling, and so this is where the testosterone, we can change some things around to improve things. So if you're on injections, we'll typically do smaller, more frequent injections so you just don't get as high peaks. And then the next thing is we may consider changing your carrier oil. Some people are just extremely sensitive to, say, retail, which is typically cottonseed or sesame oil, and they'll do much better with grapeseed oil or MCT oil. So if they're having an inflammatory reaction to one of these carrier oils, we'll switch it around and see which one works best for you. So, typically we'll adjust dosing first, try different carrier oil. And then if it's still kind of struggling, we'll try creams. Sometimes this can also improve the acne just because, again, not getting as high peaks, and then we don't have to worry about a carrier oil at all. That's something we'll just kind of trial just to see if it helps. So say we've done all of this and you're still struggling with acne. This is where we will start trialing some medications like doxycycline. It reduces inflammation. It just kind of quietens the fire. Really, we still need to be working on all this other stuff because it's not curative, but it can help kind of calm the fire. Women do really well with spironolactone. That does block the androgen effect of the skin. Severe cases, isotretinoin or Accutane can be utilized, and it can be really good for permanent improvements. And so this is always something that we could talk about if needed. This is typically high sensitivity, high risk patients just have responded to nothing else, but it is needed at times. There is another thing that you could look at if your acne is itchy and small uniform bumps. It could be fungal, and ketoconazole could have use in this case. But long story short, testosterone doesn't directly cause acne just because you started testosterone. It's not a sentence for acne, but it does increase your oil production and reveals your genetic sensitivity. It exposes your habits. So sometimes we can fix some things along the way, and you can have testosterone with great skin. So as we're optimizing your hormones, we're always recommending to optimize your habits anyways. And if it is kind of exposing where maybe you are lacking by kind of the acne showing up, let's optimize your hormones and optimize your habits. And this is just your reminder to go wash that pillowcase if you haven't washed it in the last couple weeks.